I, 23 female, cheated on my boyfriend and he doesn't want me back. What do I do to get him to come back? For the record, I am a 23-year-old female who has been dating this wonderful guy, 24-year-old male, for around 2 years. I admire him and believe him to be the most wonderful person I've ever had the pleasure of knowing. I was hanging out with my closest male buddy, who I normally get out with on a relatively regular basis and who I've known for years, a few years ago, and it turned out that he was friends with one of my ex-boyfriends. We had intended to get really inebriated one night and then simply rest. We weren't flirting or anything at the time, and he was aware that I was in a relationship, so he refrained from making a move. Shortening the story, I was laying down on his bed, wanting to just fall asleep at the end of the night. But things went wrong. My ex-boyfriend and I were together at the time when the oddest event happened. We started kissing and having right away. Also got intoxicated with many of my ex-boyfriends and their friends, not my ex-boyfriends, invited me over and slept with a few of my ex-boyfriends. I'd also gotten intoxicated with several friends who were unaware of my relationship with my partner and kissed and slept with them. I attempted to withhold this information from my partner since I knew it would be harmful to him. In the meanwhile, as I was in the shower, he was going through my phone, seeking for the phone number of a mutual friend. He looked through my photos and found pictures of me kissing other men. He confronted me about it, my exes, and some other friends of mine. I confessed to him that I had slept with them. He grew upset, started to cry, and removed me from his residence, and referred to me as among other insulting epithets. As a consequence, I smacked him across the face and demanded that he apologize. He also proposed to me earlier this year, but he didn't keep the ring and returned it. I also had his name tattooed on my forearm a while back, and I'm at a loss as to what to do next. I was his first relationship, and he told me that as a result of our connection, he no longer had faith in anybody else. I attempted to apologize, but he was deafeningly uninterested. He has blocked me and would not contact with me in any way. The man I love has earned my trust, and I am ready for him to forgive and allow me back into his life. I tried to pay him visits and sometimes waited for him while he ran in the mornings so that I might catch up with him and grasp his hand, but he smacked me away every time I reached for it. What should I do at this point? What can I do to get my ex-lover to come back to me? I love him and can't wait for him to come back. I imagined we'd get married, so he proposed and I tattooed his name on my shoulder, but he hasn't spoken anything to me in over a year. However, he is adamant in his refusal to forgive me and accept my apologies for calling him names, and he maintains that I should not have attacked him. Story 2. 5-year marriage ended today. In 2014, I met my wife via an online game, and we hit it off right away. We were the same age, had similar interests in cinema and music, and had similar perspectives on politics/religion/etc. I finally felt like I'd met the one. After some online courting, she relocated to where I lived and we started to establish a life together. She enrolled in nursing school, and the relationship was all I could have wished for. She looked more annoyed by my presence as the months passed. She'd lock the bedroom door and play a game with some online acquaintances she'd made before we met. We had less. I attributed it to her hectic schedule of school, clinicals, and other extracurricular activities. We argued about the most little, meaningless issues. She eventually graduated, found a job, and started working night shifts. Things worsened as she slept all day and played video games all night. I was aware that something was wrong, but I tried to be sympathetic since I understood how hard she worked and what nurses went through. I saw her computer was unlocked and Discord was open one day after she departed. I was embarrassed, but I caved and went through her chat logs with her buddies. One in particular was huge, with messages returning practically daily till only a few months after she came in my hometown. Constant calls and, of course, lots of stuff. Pictures were exchanged and so forth. I approached her and wanted to know why she had deceived me so completely after I had supported her and her kid for 3 years while she pursued her nursing degree. Of course, I was blamed right away since I wasn't paying attention and she was lonely. I foolishly accepted that I had not been a great spouse. I do, after all, play video games much too much, and forgiven her. We hugged it out and everything became better for a while. In the middle of all of this, I had accepted a new job in a metro region with a significant salary boost, and we were overjoyed to have just acquired a house. Again, I stupidly assumed that this would be a new beginning for us, that we would be able to heal the damage and have a better relationship. The ideal couple. For a while, everything was well in the new city. She didn't have a job yet, so she kept herself busy with exercising to lose her college weight. I worked, then worked on the house, decorating and performing yard work to give us the home we deserved. She obtained a job nearby with greater hours and pay than she had previously. Everything seemed to be okay. She had to work out of town at another place for 3 days 3 months ago. It sounded strange to me, but she explained that it was overtime and that we could always use extra money, so why not? She gathered her belongings and left. She returned, scarcely talked to me, emptied her luggage, which were weirdly stocked with 2 wine bottles, and went to bed. In the days that followed, any questions concerning the purpose of the trip were met with evasive responses. I was uneasy about the entire situation, but I didn't have any evidence or foundation to stand on, so I went on. She went to see an old acquaintance she graduated with in my hometown last week. Again, this felt strange and impromptu, but it was okay. I also pay visits to old acquaintances. She returned and, once again, evaded any queries regarding the nature of the trip with evasive answers. I examined our joint bank account and discovered that no gas was ever bought. Given the duration of the journey, that was out of the question, so I assumed she paid cash or used another card, so I couldn't see the location of the transaction. I also reviewed our phone records and discovered that she hasn't talked or texted with her pal in months. When she went for a jog this morning, I searched through her bag. Embarrassed to have intruded on her privacy again, but considering what I discovered, I think I'm pleased I did. I discovered a message written and signed by the individual with whom she had previously communicated. "I'll always love you, Zoxo," and so on. They must have met in person at least once. I'm sure there are many. I challenged her again, and she said she wasn't happy, which is why she did it. After lying to me and going to the bother of packing her nursing uniform to make it appear like she was on a business trip, she met another guy and him in a hotel. Apparently, I'm a bad spouse and she dislikes my lack of connection with her kid, claiming that we don't do anything together and so on. I'm not perfect and I have flaws like everyone else, but I didn't deserve this. I have loved and supplied for her, assisted her in going to school, and cared for her kid, and my gratitude is to be cheated on again. I'm finished. I fought with it all day, but as I sit here typing this, I can say that I no longer have anything to contribute to this relationship. I care for her, but I don't think she's capable of happiness. I am not an exception to features of her conduct and personality that indicate to narcissism and a general lack of empathy for the emotions of others. She does not love me and has never loved me. I feel more alone than I have ever felt in my 36 years of existence, more alone than when my mother phoned to tell me my father had died. I don't know anybody in this place, and I work remotely, so I don't even have the routine of an office environment to distract me. My family is very devout, and our anticipated divorce will be an embarrassment that will further isolate me from them. But all of this will pass. I will never forget my father or his remarks to me. As a human, I have worth, I love, and I am loved. A random meeting in a video game will not define the rest of my life. I gave my whole self to this connection, yet it was not returned in full. That's okay. Thank you for your time.